Just before we get into this video, guys, if you want to follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, the links are here. And if you also want to support me on Patreon as well and help out my channel, that would be absolutely awesome as well. But let's get on with the video. Yeah, I'm going to need one of these for this. So, the Doctor Who fandom. Well, this is going to be a fun video, isn't it? Now, the funny thing is, I have done a couple of videos on this subject before. I did a podcast with Ace Creeper where we were talking about whether or not the Doctor Who fanbase is toxic. Last year I did a video talking about the reaction to the 13th Doctor and that it's a bit over the top. Yeah, it turns out it's got a hell of a lot fucking worse, hasn't it? Now, I hate making videos like this, I really do, because the reason why I started this channel, whenever it was, about 18 months ago, 2 years, nearly 2 years now, the reason why I did was because I'm a nerd, I'm a fan of multiple different things, and I just wanted to talk about them. I wanted to get my viewpoints out there. This would obviously include Doctor Who, which has turned out to be the most popular thing, but obviously I talk about a bunch of other stuff. And it seems like nowadays everything is getting more and more difficult to talk about, because no matter what you say, everybody has an opinion. And listen, I understand that. Everybody is more than entitled to an opinion. I'm not going to slam anybody for having a certain viewpoint, regardless of whether or not I actually agree with it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But nowadays, particularly in the Doctor Who community, now that Series 11 is over, and just before I properly get into this rant, my Series 11 review will be coming next week, so yeah, don't ask about that because it is coming. Throughout the entirety of its run, Doctor Who Series 11 has just been fucking horrible. And I'm not on about the show itself. This is not going to be the review. This is not me talking about what's actually gone on in the show whatsoever. I'm talking about the fans. And listen, don't think that I'm taking sides here, because I'm not. I have my own viewpoints for sure. I agree with people on both sides of the arguments. I think some people who don't necessarily line up with what I think, they make some valid points, and people who I do agree with, they obviously make some valid points as well. But there's some people that really just don't seem to fucking get it, that at the end of the day, this is just a TV show. People are going to say that I'm a hypocrite for this, because in a video that I did a while ago, I said that Doctor Who is more than just a TV show. And you know what? I do actually stand by that. Doctor Who is definitely more than just a TV show to people. But when you boil it down, this is just a television program. This is just supposed to entertain people, tell stories, and people are just supposed to watch and have debates. Now, when I mean debates, I don't mean the vitriol and the just horrible fucking nature of people that has just boiled to the surface as of late. Back in the day, it used to be stuff like, who's the best master, Delgado or Ainley? Who's the best Davros? Is it Terry Malloy? Or is it Michael Wisher? Is Colin Baker's run actually underrated? Is David Tennant's run actually overrated? Who would actually win in a fight? Is it the Daleks or is it the Cybermen? Nah, that ain't happening anymore, is it? Nowadays, politics is being thrown into it, and it's personal attacks, and people, regardless of what their viewpoint is, they can put out anything, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, whatever piece of social media it is, people put out their opinion and they are just viciously attacked. Personally attacked, and I cannot fucking stand for that whatsoever. I mean, the Who Addicts put out a video on a similar sort of subject, and I've got to admit, totally right. They are totally fucking right, because I don't care what your viewpoint is on Series 11. I don't care what your opinion on Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is. I don't care what you think of anything regarding any part of Doctor Who. I don't condone personal attacks on anybody, because on the one hand, we've got people who don't like this series, which they have every right not to, and they just label everybody who does like it as an SJW, an NPC. And you know what? Yeah, some people might be, but on the whole, some people just genuinely like this series of Doctor Who. But then you have people on the other side who, you know, see this series of Doctor Who and think, well, I like it, therefore anybody who doesn't like it must be a misogynist. I'm sorry, but that's absolute horseshit. Just because you like this series of Doctor Who, that doesn't mean you're a certain type of person. Just because you didn't like this series of Doctor Who, that also doesn't mean that you're a certain type of person. And the thing that really irritates me is the fact that there are people out there who really wanted to like this series, but don't. And those people are still being labelled as misogynists and bigots and sexists and whatever ism or whatever it is you want to call them. But it makes me laugh because, well, certain people such as myself didn't like Series 8, but Nobody said a fucking thing then, did they? Why is it now? Why is it now that you can't have an opinion on Doctor Who? Positive or negative? Why is it this series? And look, I understand that there was a big change with the gender of the Doctor, but in the grand scheme of things, who fucking cares? There are people out there who genuinely love every single one of the Doctors. That's fine. There are people out there who love some of the Doctors, but not all of them. That's also fine. Do you see what I'm getting at here? It is okay to like or dislike whichever elements of Doctor Who you want. Doesn't affect anybody in the grand scheme of things. I'm just so sick and tired of it. I'm so sick to death and just bored of seeing all this crap everywhere. People attacking each other left and right. And I'm not on about the politics, that's just a figure of speech. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing these people just say that, well, you must like it because you're some sort of idiot, or you don't like it because you're some sort of bigot. Like, it's just, oh, it is just fucking horrible. And I've got to admit to you guys, there was a point where I was genuinely considering not doing the Series 11 review, purely because of the way that the fandom is. Like, it is just ridiculous. What I've seen from certain people, some people who I used to genuinely like their content and respect them as people, my opinion on them has totally and utterly changed because of the way that they acted, whether it's in a negative way. Well, I mean, it's all in a negative way, because whether or not you're somebody who's just like, oh, you're an idiot for liking it, or just so smug, well, I like it, so because I do and you don't, that must mean you're less than me. It's all that sort of stuff. It's pathetic. That's not what I want to be a part of. I don't want to be part of a community or a fandom that is just an embarrassment. It's honestly an embarrassment. Like, obviously when The Last Jedi came out, that was a very divisive film to people, and a lot of people would have said then that the Star Wars fan base was incredibly toxic. Just totally and utterly awful. I genuinely think that Doctor Who is worse now than that Star Wars fandom ever was. I mean, for me as a content creator, I mean, this was a worry that I had before Series 11 even aired, and sort of playing on what I was saying before, that I was tempted not even to do the review, because why would I get involved in it? Why would I put out a review or an opinion piece where people are just gonna have a go at me? And that's not me being so thin-skinned and that I can't take it. It's just that I shouldn't have to experience that. Nobody should. Nobody should be able to just have a go at somebody purely based on their opinion. I don't think. You can disagree with the opinion. That is totally fine. I don't mind that. People can have their own criticisms, and that's alright. I mean, there are YouTubers that I watch that I genuinely love, but I don't agree with them all the time. I'm not going to put myself in some echo chamber that I just listen to the opinions that I agree with, because what's the point in that? I mean, I'm subscribed to a load of different people. Some people I actually agree with, other people I don't, but I watch their content regardless because I want to get a well-rounded view of what people think or how people are interpreting certain things. This fanbase used to be amazing. When I was a kid and I was sort of getting into Doctor Who, like, this was before it sort of went massive, so it wasn't really the cool thing to be watching Doctor Who. I just watched it because I liked it, and then I made friends because of it. I mean, Dan, who does the podcast with me, one of the main reasons that I'm friends with him is because we both like Doctor Who. There's some incredible creators on this platform as well that also talk about Doctor Who, you know, the likes of Batman March, Ace Creeper, Council of Geeks, people like that, that they're really great creators, they're really nice people, and I think they're the type of people that I think, yeah, they should be at the forefront of it. I mean, I'm not going to call anybody out and I'm not going to say any names, but there are people on here that are just so up their own arse that they can't understand that people might have a different viewpoint to them. And that's, again, whether or not they dislike or do like the show. I mean, I could be an absolute fucking bellend and I could call those people out and I could do this, but I don't want to cause any more shit. I don't want to start any more shit, because what's the point in that? It's bad enough as it is. And don't even get it twisted that it's just a thing with the fans. The BBC and the people involved with Doctor Who and people writing articles for The Independent or the Radio Times or whoever, they're not fucking helping. If anything, they're not only lighting the flames, but they're fanning them as well. There have been some appalling articles written. I mean, obviously, you might remember a few months ago now, there was the whole thing about Peter Capaldi not being universally loved by Doctor Who fans. And I believe that was an article written by somebody representing the BBC. Now, whether that was directly from the BBC or not, that's not the point. That person was representing the BBC, and they actively go out there and say, oh yeah, Peter Capaldi wasn't loved by Doctor Who fans. Are you fucking serious? Are you seriously trying to not only have a pop at your former Doctor, but just publicly put that out there that, yeah, people didn't like him? That's fucking shitty, don't you think? And there's plenty of other things that I can call out here, but like I said, I'm not I'm not going to get into it because I hate it. I fucking hate it. I just want to go back to those days where talking about Doctor Who was fun. Everything about it was fun. Whether or not the series that had just gone was any good, that was irrelevant because it wasn't divisive, really. Nobody was going to have a go at you because you did or didn't like it. Nobody cared. Everyone was just like, yeah, okay. Where's the respect gone, I think? That's the main point of this video. Where the fuck has the respect and common courtesy for every other single person in this community gone? It's absolutely appalling. And there are people that follow me, there are people that follow other people that I watch, and there are people, well, there's people everywhere, really. Like I say, there's people that I'm genuinely astounded by because I don't understand how this fandom has turned this way, because I'm totally and utterly embarrassed to call myself a Doctor Who fan now. And I'm not trying to bite the hand that feeds me, but I don't tell people that what I talk about on my channel is Doctor Who. I mean, if they go and find it, they will, but I won't tell them because I don't want that debate. I don't want that conversation. I don't want people to think that I'm a part of it because I like to think that I'm fairly neutral. Obviously, I have certain opinions on things, but in terms of what's been going on with Series 11, I've sort of just kept out of it. I've said a few things here and there, but I've never gone out and just lambasted people with abuse. I've never gone out there and said that certain demographics of the fan base are stupid or are idiots or whatever. It's got to stop. Something has got to change. I don't know what it is. And again, whether or not it's the actual content of the show at the minute, I don't know. But that's no excuse. I don't think it should be an excuse. Just because this latest series is what it is doesn't justify any of it at all. And it makes me really sad because I know for a fact how great this community actually can be because I've seen it. When I first started, it was amazing. I loved it. Obviously, I did videos that people didn't agree with, but there was never any vitriol, any bile. There was never anything that was genuinely disturbing to see, and I enjoyed it then because, I mean, why wouldn't I? It was just nice, you know. You could have a nice friendly debate with somebody, just chat to them about it, you know. Like, oh, like I said at the top of this video, you know, like Anthony Ainley or Roger Delgado, you know, tame things like that. Nowadays it's, are you an SJW feminist cook or are you some alt-right Trump supporting Nazi? Like, because they're the only two options, are they? You can't be down the middle, can you? You can't be neither of those things but still like it or dislike it. People need some fucking perspective. They really, really do. I just don't understand how, one, this has happened, and two, it can be changed. I don't get it. I think the only answer would be for Doctor Who to go off the air, so every single one of those people just goes away. And look, I don't want people silenced. I never want people silenced. I'm a big believer in freedom of speech. Part of me has thought, not just knock the Series 11 review on the head, but not talk about Doctor Who at all. So I don't want to be a part of it. This community can be better. Like I was saying, it can be better. I've seen it. And I just think that lately, I don't know if it's new people or it's people just finally coming to the surface, but it's really brought the worst out of people. It really, really has. I mean, I've experienced people having a go at me. I've seen other content creators that people have had a go at them as well. I've seen people get called out and told that there's something that I know for a fact that they're not. And I can't believe I even have to make a video like this. In fact, I don't have to at all. I could have just kept quiet. So if you have been somebody that has actively gone out there and attacked somebody personally and said that they're this or they're that or whatever, just because of their opinion on Doctor Who, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, I don't give a shit. Stop. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing the community, and you're just being a dick, and there's no need for it. No need whatsoever. You can disagree with people. It's not a crime. But just have some fucking respect. Have some common courtesy. Not everything has to be a personal attack. Not liking something doesn't mean that you're a bigot. Liking something doesn't mean that you're some feminist cock. All these fucking buzzwords that mean nothing now. They mean nothing because they're just thrown out so liberally. Like I say, I haven't even spoken properly about my opinion of Series 11 and I'm dreading it. If you haven't been the type of person that I've mentioned in this video, then good on you. You're the type of Doctor Who fan that this community needs. You really, really are. Both sides have done wrong. Both sides have been cunts, frankly. Sorry to put it so strongly, but it's true. That's just how I feel. I'm not bothered if you like or dislike anything. And just to let the message sink in, because clearly it didn't last time, I'm going to end this video by saying something that I said in a previous video. Whether you like it or dislike it, if you've been going around attacking people for their opinion, there's one person who would be ashamed of you, and that's the Doctor.